So I just want to talk about the generational change. Generation Y, which is the generation that's students in your college right now, is a very different generation. You may have been part of the generation that used to have mobile phones that were that big. I know that you did, Trevor. You know, very big mobile phones, and that's the kind of old school generation. I think there's phones even bigger than that. Because what you see, thing is, generations, it's a worldview. We grow up with certain worldviews, and what a worldview is, if you remember, I put these on Trevor earlier, and a worldview is kind of the lens that you look through. It's kind of the way that you don't know it's there until you take it off, because that's just the lens that you look through. So a worldview is that. So the worldview of Generation Y is maybe very different, say, to my generation, which is Generation X, or maybe one or two of you here in the college who are part of the baby boomer generation. That was a generation that was all about, let's go to the moon, it's about big adventure, it's different. Generation X was which was often quite a hopeless generation. It was kind of Kurt Cobain, it was nihilism, it was a broken family. That was often Generation X. Not a lot of great stuff there. But then Generation Y is different. So like, for instance, you know, Google has always been there. They've always been the generation that's connected to the internet. They've always been there. So that is not new or exciting. It's just something that's always been there. And so it looks like they can get answers to everything. But like we mentioned earlier, sometimes they don't have the stuff that they need. Their self-esteem can be affected by lots of different things. So even though they've got access to all the technology that maybe my generation still feel it was quite new, then actually they've still got lots of questions. And that makes them sometimes a bit of a fragile generation. The high and the low self-esteem, like we talked about. So you always step back and remember, sorry about that, big noises. Always step back and remember that they're a work in progress. They're not adults yet, they're a work in progress, and it's a privilege for us as staff to get involved in that. So sometimes we want them to sort of grow up and become adults, when really we need to be coaching them as a work in progress. And that, for me, has always changed the way that I work with young people. So I hope that helps. If I can be any more help, then please do contact me. But thanks a lot for having me here at Middlesbrough. It's been great. Cheers.